Hello, um, I'm just going to talk a bit about Wusik 8000. I have loaded here the default skin for the Wusik 8000, and just going to play around with some presets. I'm just preparing my videos for a daily stream for next week. Two days are going to be shorter because my uh, break, but the other days are going to make very longer videos. I'm just going to improvise with both Wusik Station version 8 and Wusik 8000, doing presets, and if people are online with questions, I'm going to reply with all the questions. And I'm going to try to expand this into a programming live stream for those who are interested in programming. And but I'm going to ask around if people really want that. Otherwise, I'm not going to bother. Uh, but the idea is to show my workflow, how I work, the mistakes I do, the genius things I come up with, and some pretty stupid things sometimes programmers do, and they figure out later. Just how the day the a day in the life of programmer really works. And I don't know if people want to watch that, that's great. Otherwise, it's just going to be archived on YouTube, and you can all watch there anytime you want to. So my internet's now back again working, and it looks to be good. I'm just checking my settings here, and everything seems to be okay. I'm going to try to speak more clearly. My accent sometimes get in the way. So, I'm William, this is Wusik 8000. This was my first big project doing open source for Windows and Mac, doing from the ground up a few years ago. I started with Wusik 4000 and then expanded to Wusik 8000 with more features. And both programs are live, and I support both programs. And what else can I say? Then came Wusik Station version 8, which is based on Wusik 8000 code, but has a different interface, and the internal aspect of the code is different. But it's basically a big project with pieces of Wusik 4000, Wusik 8000, and Wusik Station version 8 activated depending on what I want to be compiled as a software. So that's pretty much the story of how it started. I have been coding for nearly 20 years now, and Wusik was created in 2001, so I have a lot of experience there. I'm just checking here how things are on the feed to be sure it's working, and it seems to be working. So let me check a few things out here. I'm going to talk in a minute. Okay. I may need to upgrade this computer to handle better graphics, and but it seems to be working okay. My eyes are again hurting me a bit. It's one of the problems I'm facing. So I apologize if I blink like crazy and look like what's the name of the movie? I forgot the name of the movie, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so here I have Wusik 8000. This is the blank preset. There's nothing loaded here. If I open here the preset list here, you can load the int preset. That's pretty much it. I'm going to close it so to have more room here to work with. And Wusik 8000, one advantage is that you can hide parameters. So I have hidden the parallel filter here because I'm not going to be using now. So I have hiding it to have more room. And Wusik 8000 is a modular concept, but it's not for the modular heads. It's for the average user or people, like me, who doesn't like to really fuss much around with modular interface, but want to still have the option for modular control. So what happens is you have two layers. The master layer we call global layer, just is pretty much the master layer on Wusik Station, and then you have regular layers. You can add as much layers as you want, and each layer you have to have at least an envelope and a sound generator, so it starts producing some sound. Some effects like the VST effect, if you add an instrument here, is also going to work even without an envelope. So just for the sake of it, I'm going to add the MDA GX10, which is a great synthesizer. So that's it. Another thing to mention is that when you click here on the Wusik 8000 logo, it opens several options that you should take a look, because those are important options. You have the skins that you can select. Artvira has kindly done some very great skins for Wusik 8000. Tooltip, modules, some options here for the modules. You can have the option to show oscilloscopes. They show a very small square. Let me load something here just to show something, sound generator, white noise. So you can see if you play a note here, it shows what this generator does. And the oscillator will stop because there's a idle period that's going to activate the idle mode, so it doesn't keep using CPU like crazy. And the oversample option, that oversample the sound generators, doesn't oversample everything, because it tended to produce some problems with filters and other things, so it's mostly done for the sound generators. Key shortcuts, the idle timeout I was talking about. The screen refresh rate is more if you have problems or something like that. And Wusik 8000 compared to Wusik 4000 has the modular zoom options and zoom out and in. And I have to add the smooth option, but it takes a lot of CPU usage when compare it on smooth option. But it's a great option, because sometimes you can have too many modules on a preset. It can get very busy on the screen, especially on the screen I'm using. It's my notebook, so it's a smaller screen compared to other bigger monitors, especially 4K monitors. And that's pretty much what I can talk about here, because everything else is very easy to understand. So okay, on this layer I have added VST. So I'm actually using the VST effect as a VST host. So very simple, but I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. Let's play around with a bit. So I'm just going to improvise a bit, some preset. Maybe it's going to be good, maybe it's going to be crap. I don't know. So let's start with envelope. I'm going to use the ADSR envelope. These envelopes have some nice options that I like. And I'm going to use the draw wave oscillator. So now we can see that you have an envelope and a sound generator. So now you have sound. Very simple sound. Because what happens here is that Wusik 8000 follows an order. First, it's going to render all MIDI stuff. Then these MIDI modules are going to produce notes. Then the modulation modules are going to be computed. Then everything is going to be sent to the envelopes, then to the sound generators. And the first envelope, which is the amplitude envelope, you can see here, amplitude envelope, is going to generate the amplitude envelope for the sound generators, all the sound generators in a layer. So if you want to have different amplitude envelopes to different sound generators, you just create multiple layers. Then everything goes to the filters, polyphonic, and then finally goes to the effects on a layer. And you can also have send effects for the master layer. So the send effect here is going to send the audio of this layer to the global layer. Sorry, I keep calling master because it's how Wusik Station works. But on Wusik 8000 you have global and all the layers. And here you can only add effects and modulations and MIDI. You can then add filters, envelopes, and sound generators. So if I try to add one, it's going to say you can't load them. Pretty much it. I hope I'm talking very clearly. So what do you have now here? We have an amplitude envelope, and you can also make it a filter envelope. So now this envelope is going to be an amplitude envelope and a filter envelope. So now I can add a filter. Let me use I like this one. Okay, so you have ordered. I can select the order I want my modules to show up. So far it's being organized by type and size, and I can select to organize by size if I want, but I'm going to leave by type. By type is going to follow the actual audio path order, just like you have on a module interface. So let me check here. Let me try to center the camera better, because I'm sitting a bit stranger here. Okay. So you have now. Let me try something here. Okay, sustain. Okay, so I have something very basic. I'm going to use the dual mode on the dual wave oscillator. And pretty much this. And now here on the filter, I'm lowering the frequency, and I'm using the filter envelope option. I still need to hook up my MIDI interface here on this computer, but it broke, so I have to fix it, and it's a pain to fix it. So what do you have here now? It's the decay on the filter and amplitude. So I have here amplitude and filter envelope, and here the filter envelope. Let me add a bit of resonance. I'm just going to use now a MIDI arpeggiator. So what I have done here now, I have unlocked the draw waveform, I have drawn something, and used the soft smooth option to make the waveform less aggressive. I'm going to use the high quality mode to get a better sound. Let me try to load a bit my lattice on my audio card. I don't know what it does that. just go high. It's crazy, and I don't know why it does that. You can see that's 4020, and sometimes go up to 9000. No, the program is not refreshing. I have to check these options. There's an option here that refreshes. I don't know what's the option, but let me check if I can do this here. Maybe this works. It doesn't work. It's something on my host. I'm using a save host. It's not on the plugin itself. But just to give you an idea. Let me unload my module. So now I have one layer with those options, and I'm going to add an effect. Let me check. I'm going to add a filter as an effect. Why? Because I want to try to boost the bass a bit. And that works. You can see that I have added a multi-filter as an effect. So this is an effect. What I'm doing is I'm using the wet and dry options to boost just a bit of the bass and keep the original audio. So it works like an equalizer. And it's fun that you can play with the drive. So this is a very basic patch, but you can see no wires. So let's start getting crazy with the wires now. What I'm going to do is add an LFO. So now I can use my Alt and minus key here to zoom in and out. Let me use the smooth option here. I think my computer is not going to go crazy. That's okay. Then it removes some of the glitches when you zoom out. And it seems to be doing okay. I'm not getting a lot of problems here. So now I have an LFO here, and I'm going to use this LFO to change the frequency of the filter, the polyphonic filter. You can see here the poly. Poly means a polyphonic filter, so it's not an effect. The effect doesn't show this. So here is the output of the LFO. Even if it's monophonic, I can send to a polyphonic input, like the frequency of the filter or the resonance. I just have to know if I'm going to select resonance here 0, the filter is going to go from 0 to 1. What you can see here is going to a negative value, -1 to 1. You can see on the oscilloscope here because that's how the LFO works. So I have to select positive on the output. And I'm going to make it very slow now. So it's pretty much slower now. Okay, now we have a problem. I'm having my LFO as 0 to 1, but 1 is too much for the resonance, and 0 is too little. So here on the destination, where you connect the wire, you have these options: amount, minimum, and maximum. So if you click with the right button, you change what's going to be edited. So I'm going to edge to the minimum. We just move up and down. I'm going to go notes not so low, and I'm going to adjust the maximum and not so high. Otherwise, it doesn't produce any good sound. Here I'm playing with the linear and exponential option on filter, but it seems to be doing better with exponential, I think. I don't recall very well now. Exponential. No, this is exponential, this is linear. You can see from the graphic here. Another thing I'm going to change here is on the frequency, the filter envelope. That's not working very well, because what happens is that the lower value is too low. So I'm going to raise up a bit frequency here, so the lower frequency is not so low. That's pretty much, that's better. And maybe let's add a second filter. So now I have two filters, and they're processing in series. So now I'm going to use the parallel filter. I'm going to show my parallel filter option. Now on the second filter, now I have two filters, one filter one here and second filter here. I'm going to change my octave here. Okay. Zoom. Filter is going crazy. But at least you get a very interesting idea. When the filter closes for the last time, it doing. Check something here. That's pretty much it. So what I'm going to add now is a second waveform on the draw wave oscillator, and maybe fade from one another and see what kind of effect we can have. Or maybe let's mess up with the PWM. Let's see if my oscillator mini is working. So I'm going to get the output of the audio oscillator and put on my oscillator mini. Not doing much to the sound. Ah, no worries. Okay, this another thing I have to fix. I forgot to add something to the code. But this is the beta version, so I'm going to fix it anyway. So instead of the PWM, which I forgot to add on the code, sorry about that, I'm going to do something different. Okay, I don't need anymore. I need another LFO. So let me check modulations. You have other option of modulations here, but I'm just going to use another LFO. Okay, so LFO number 2 is going to go to wave, and I'm going to use fade. Let me check my zoom here, because the interface is not working. Just this computer I'm using is very slow. It's 1.8 gigahertz and it's a Celeron. The other I have is a quad core, but I'm having some trouble using it for work. I use mostly for music, and the Twitch there doesn't work very well because I don't have a webcam on that computer, and this one I have. Anyway, let me check something. So let me sure this is positive on the output for this LFO. I want to make it very slow too. And let's use the fade option, but I have to use just a bit of amount, so I'm just going to be fading like 2 or 3 waveforms here. Let me do to the second waveform. Does it show there? Yes, it does. So we're going to create. Oh, it's not what I wanted. Crap. Okay, oh, come on. My mouse is playing tricks on me. Okay. Oh crap. The release I think is too high. Too slow. Oh, I know what's the problem is. because the amount is based on a negative and positive value. When you lower the amount here, it's going to center up because I'm using a positive output. So what I have to do now is just keep amount up, and here I'm going to change amount here. Nah, not working. The filter producing the chaotic sound is the second filter. I'm using the feedback. You have to be very careful when using the feedback on the filter because it can really get messy. But it produces a nice sound when you do it right. Okay. Okay. This is some crazy stuff. And let's see what else can we do. One thing I was thinking, maybe it's time to add. There's something missing here. Let's see, we'll have the beat sequencer that we use in the auto note to create chaotic sounds, but that's not what I want here. Let me think of something. Where can we go from here? I want to play with the filter feedback. Why? Because it can get very crazy. But I need another modulation. I want to use another LFO. Because LFO is just easier to use. So I'm going to use. You can see that I'm minimizing some of the modules to make room so I can organize things. And let me see. So I'm going to center the feedback here. And as always, positive on output, not so fast. And let me think. It was the random option. Random with some smooth the random, and I can go a bit faster. But I have to be careful not to go too high on the feedback, otherwise the sound just goes nuts. It looks like I can't go a bit crazy with the feedback because I'm changing the feedback. As long as the feedback is changing, there is not much problem. The problem is that when the feedback stays too long on the maximum value, because it's going to feedback the whole filter sound internally. So then it goes crazy. You get that classic guitar feedback. Yikes! Sorry for that. Hurt my ears too. You can see that I'm playing around with the smooth option, so you can see here that if you don't use this smooth, it's just going to go a very fast way, and the smooth option just smooths out. So you can see now all the modules here, and what happens here, let me show you. So we now have 3 LFOs, LFO 1, 2, 3. They're not in order because when you zoom out, it's just going to try to allocate as better as it can by size, not by order and type. So we have the amplitude and filter envelope here, the 2 filters, the polyphonic filter 1 and 2, 2 LFOs, the ARP basic, the multi-filter, which is an effect, the stereo delay, effect 2, and the drawable oscillator, which is a sound generator. But let's add another sound generator. Maybe just a single oscillator to add a bit more chorus sound. Now I'm back to zoom 100%, so it's now back to type order. So LFOs, amplitude. Now I have the oscillator here. Let's use pulse oscillator. And I'm going to add another single oscillator. I could use the dual oscillator, I guess, but having 2 single oscillators uses a bit more CPU, but you have more control. Now, just for the sake of trying, let's add another envelope. And this time I'm going to set this. You can see now the difference as I have the amplitude envelope here, can click and see that it's also the filter. And here, there's no name, just the name of the envelope, because this is just a regular modulation envelope now. I can make it, force it to be the amplitude envelope, and it's going to switch for this one. But I'm going to use for the pitch envelope, so you can see the pitch here. If this one was just a filter envelope, you have the filter on the name here on the top. But since it's doing two things, the name could be too small to fit there, so I just let it be show the first option. Now I have the pitch envelope here, and let's try something. Let's try pitch range here is 12, so I'm going to try very quick one. This option is important. What happens here is this. Most of the sound generators do not use too much of the CPU. The change on the pitch is not done in real time. Otherwise it's going to go crazy, because there's a lot of math done when it does in real time. So, but in this case I want it to be in real time, so I have to go to the module options and frequency change in real time. Nah, that doesn't sound very good, but it's just fun to try. It would be more fun if you add another layer, and when you hold the keys, you have the rising sound along with the arpeggiator. Maybe I could do that. So I'm not going to use this envelope anymore. We're just going to unload and just have this one. Oops. Oh yes, Ctrl. If you hold Ctrl, you can select wires if you want, and just remove the wires. Without Ctrl, it doesn't do anything. I forgot that. So let's tune one octave below. Okay, my computer is overloading a bit now, but this is another thing to do. No, to move. Just let me remove the real-time frequency change. Let me no, I'm not going to oversample. This computer is very slow. On my quad computer I can oversample up to 16 times without problems. Yeah, you can go very crazy with Wusik 8000. So I have a lot of things here. My computer is starting to complain. I hope Twitch is still working, because I'm seeing that the encoding overload on Twitch there because of City hosts using most of one processor, and the encoding is just trying to use the two processors. Heck. But well, for this video, this is a very showcasing of Wusik 8000, and if people start to really ask me for more videos, I'm going to try to do as much as I can, and I'm also going to work on more stuff too. There are a few things I want to work, and I have to fix the PWM on the oscillator. My bad for not doing this. But happens on the beta version. The latest official version, it's working. Just on the beta, I create a total new code for this. And when I created the code, I forgot the PWM option. And it's very easy to do. It's not hard. I just forgot. Sorry. So I'm going to do that. And I remember I know clicking here minimizes, but I'm trying to. Oh yeah, maximize my all models there. That's the option is there. I just forgot it was there. I was minimizing stuff, and I think I was minimize all modules and just maximize the ones I want. And then I can go back and just maximize all modules. I know this is strange because you have the menu on each module and I have the module options, but that's how I did at the time. Maybe I could have done in a different way, but that's how I did. And it works. I can also just select here things I want, filters, envelopes, modulations, MIDI. You also can check it on the matrix what's happened if you don't want to fuzz around with wires. We have the effects here. Envelopes. So I'm going to add another LFO station. LFO. I'm going to make it positive only output. And what I'm going to do now. So I have the LFO4 and I want to mess around with the filters. So what I'm going to do is just play around with sample and hold. Okay, just not going to go. Oh, I used the wrong LFO, sorry. I used LFO 2, 1, 4. Okay, 4. Sample and hold. 4, sample and hold. Okay, that's it. I have already set to positive only. Let's make it a bit slower. And I'm going to deviate one from the other. So this one, I'm going to select the maximum. Oh crap, a bit low. No, it's not that. My mouse is terrible. Nah, that's not what I want. I want something different. I want two LFOs because I want them to different from each other. Let me think. Modulation. Let me think. The combiner, the gate. I know there's one that I can invert the signal. Just don't remember which one. No, the logic is not what I want. Let me see if I can use the combiner. Subtract. And that should work. Because it's going to subtract some from 0. Okay, let me see what happens. Not much. Oh yes, here, invert. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. Yeah, that's it. Ah, that's pretty fun. So, a lot of stuff here. I just hope my streaming is still working, because this is a very heavy patch and my Celeron crappy computer is not handling very well. But this is fun. It's fun to really push the hardware to its limits. And this is a very crazy patch. This is fun. I like it. It's very chaotic. So, what else? Well, I'm a bit tired now. It's just being 1 hour video. I'm going to be able to do longer videos in the future. I'm just getting used to it. I just have to prepare myself a bit better with some water on the room. Okay, that's it, I think. That's it for today. It's been fun to do this. So this is a very crazy patch. A lot of stuff. Maybe I should save it. Okay, let's see. Save preset. Let's go. And maybe I'm going to create a new folder. Okay, let's create a new folder. What should I call it? Live presets. I think that's good. So, crazy one. Okay, crazy arp. I think it's bass sound. I would say we'll call that. I'm going to call arp. I don't know what kind of tags. Bass arp filter resonance. So that's it. That's my preset there. Let's hope it loads correctly. Yeah, that's it. All the stuff there. Okay, let me write it down here. I have some stuff to fix on this beta version. Let's check it. So this is version 118, but a beta, I don't know how to call that, 18. So I'm going to fix just the drawway oscillator problem. That's just not a big deal. But I should fix because it's a very great option to have there. I'm going to show you another video. Okay, so I guess that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you can comment on the video, like the video, subscribe, follow us, follow me on Twitch, and also on the new YouTube channel I have created. You can check on live.wusik.com for the videos, or just go to the Wusik page and enter the live link at the top right area. Then you're going to open, I don't recall, if I recall correctly, it's the Twitch area, and there on the Twitch you have the link for the YouTube videos too. Because Twitch doesn't keep all the videos, they keep for like 15 days and up to 60 days, I think, if you pay like some sort of fee. And since YouTube is free, I'm just exporting everything to YouTube. So that's it. So maybe you'll see again on Sunday, or maybe something tomorrow. Thank you.